Laughlin. Very exciting. Criminal. Oh, I love the smell of criminal referrals in the morning, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And new news this morning on that front.
Yeah. What?
And some new news.
You know, it seems like you should get me... hi, good morning. Good morning, Glenn Kirschner. First of all, I just have to get your take on... what is he, trothed? He has trothed. Trump has trothed this morning. Under the Presidential Records Act and the very well-established Clinton Sox case... The raid of Mar-a-Lago by the FBI and the taking of documents and many other items was illegal, in all caps, Glenn. So, you know, everything should be returned at once. How's that work when you're a prosecutor? Do you just...
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. That doesn't actually constitute an appeal of the 11th Circuit ruling, just throwing out the special master. So go ahead and, Truth Social away. It means nothing.
I don't know. Does anyone demand to get their drugs back the minute they? It's can I have the stuff back?
Yeah.
So talk to us about big deal or not. The DOJ are asking the federal judge to hold Trump's office in contempt of court following this discovery of new classified documents stashed at Trump's property, despite his legal team's assurances that they had already handed over all the material. What do you make of this latest? I mean, it's his people going. Oh wait, there's even more.
Right.
We didn't tell you.
This is really curious and perhaps unprecedented. I'm not celebrating it. Look, Donald Trump has held us in contempt for 6 years. It's nice to hear that he and his team might be held in contempt. But, this is really, to use a legal term, a funky procedure going on with Chief Judge Beryl Howell overseeing whatever in the world she is overseeing. It almost feels like another version of a special master arrangement. That's not a criticism of Chief Judge Beryl Howell. I think she's terrific. But I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. What I do know is it doesn't seem to be all that effective to have some judge intervene and try to put, fixes in place for what we all know is broken. What we all know is broken is that Trump and his defense team are corrupt, don't care about actually divulging themselves of all of these documents. And there's a way to remedy all this. It's with indictments for the crimes that we know Trump has committed.
Yeah. Well, you tweeted that. You said more stolen classified documents found on Trump's property. The worst part, they were found by Trump's legal team. Is it the same legal team that previously certified they've returned all the documents Trump stole from the feds? I was trying to, make heads or tails of this. Of what, is it his attorneys throwing him under the bus because they don't want to get charged like the last attorneys that were obstructing?
You can't make heads or tails of it because this is not a normal criminal justice thing. This is not the way we go about doing business, pulling judges into what kind of mediate disputes between prosecutors and, targets of a criminal investigation. None of this makes any sense. But I do feel like it's a sign of weakness that the Department of Justice continues to play this game because they're playing this game on Donald Trump's playing field when they could change everything by simply beginning to indict folk for the crimes they committed. I do think the J6 criminal referrals will actually help on that front.
Well, okay, so tell us what's happening now. The DOJ has gained access to all these Trump documents, obviously, right? The special master has officially been that was ordered has officially been dismissed. So what does that mean? What's happening now? So the DOJ now has access to all these documents. The delay didn't work. Now what's happening?
So what that means is the decks have been cleared for Jack Smith to break into a justice sprint, right? There is no longer anything holding them back from using all of the documents that were seized from Mar-a-Lago in furtherance of criminal charges against Trump and Steph, not only Trump, because we know Trump didn't load up boxes, ship them to Mar-a-Lago, unload them, put them wherever it was he was trying to hide them. This is going to be a conspiracy indictment. It's going to be Donald Trump and others that assisted him in this crime. Those are co-conspirators. And you know what? That is a challenging investigation. And that's what I think Jack Smith is probably trying to get his arms around as quickly as he can.
So speaking of associates, so obviously the breaking news this morning is that sources are saying 4 more Trump associates are in the criminal referral hot seat by the J6 committee. Mark Meadows, John Eastman, Jeffrey Clark, Rudy Giuliani. I can't remember, Glenn, if you were in the, yes, it's good to make a criminal referral from the J6 committee, or it's not, or it doesn't matter. What do you think?
Well, first of all, it's a co-equal branch of government that has done an exhaustive and pretty remarkable investigation on the Trump-launched attack on our democracy, interviewed more than 1,000 witnesses, collected up more than 1 million documents, and now they're putting a report together that's going to assimilate it all and show the American people, not just the Department of Justice, the crimes that have been committed. DOJ can't ignore it. They won't be bound by it. They will beat their chest and say, we're proud of our independent prosecutorial discretion. Thank you very much, Congress. But it's going to be important. And I believe it has to move the needle, Steph, because if we see all of the evidence of the crimes that have been committed, DOJ will see it. And I think DOJ will have to act.
Yeah, I agree. I think the evidence is so overwhelming, Glenn, that they can't just say, "Oh well," but it's not doesn't rise to it. Of course, it rises to a criminal referral. I mean, I think that train has already left the station about it's going to make it political. In what world is it not political that a former president tried to overthrow the government of the United States? Right?
It's all political. And here's what I'll say. I've said this before. The chief of the J6 investigative team, Tim Heaphy, former RICO prosecutor that I worked with for years, one of the best RICO prosecutors we've had at the Department of Justice, he hired a whole team of former federal prosecutors to conduct the J6 investigation. After we conduct an investigation, Steph, as prosecutors, we put together what's called a CIM, a case impression memo. That is a soup to nuts overview of all of the evidence, all of the law, and it concludes with a recommendation to indict or don't indict. This is what we are about to see. A case impression memo. Some people call it a prosecution report. That's what the J6 committee is about to deliver to us. And I think it's going to be really important.
Yeah. Okay.